And in college, I was just like, man, this is boring. It's like
Mm.
this is not what I want to do. And I asked my parents like, yo, just give me 1 year to try to get into like pro Overwatch, and eventually I did.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Player Hustle. We have Blasé here, Flex DPS in Houston, former Boston, Gladiators. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm currently just wondering, how do you deal with the already stacked DPS lineup in Houston? How are you gonna deal with the starter spot or anything? Do you have any personal opinion on it?
Um, I think one thing I have the edge over like all the other DPS, like especially in the league. I think not all of them, but obviously most of them is just my ability to like calm and like lead a team in DPS role. I think that's pretty rare to find.
Mm.
And holding up like just good mechanics and like being able to like lead and calm at the same time.
Mm. Is that something you picked up early on in your career or more later on? For example, you played with Fusions a lot, and I know for a fact he was super communicative. In fact, I did an interview with him as well, and he talked about how he sort of was a leader in the team. Did you learn stuff from him, or yeah?
I've always been a calmer. Just I've never like tried to lead a team. I've always like just had really good comms, just good at like auxiliary comms. Just calming ults, targets, keeping like the macro up, especially like in fights, keeping target calls up, etc.
Mm.
like that.
Mm.
Uh, I don't think I started like leading until probably Boston actually. When around like stage 3, they like appointed me as like the IGL basically on Brig, and I started just hard coming like strats and stuff instead of like fusions coming that, because in stage 1 and 2 fusions did most of it,
Mm.
and then they shifted it towards me in stage 3. So
Yeah.
that's like my first like IGL like hard coming role.
Yeah, dude. When you were on break, I remember you basically do you watch? Have you watched Dragon Ball Z or anything?
I've watched some
I,
Dragon Ball Z.
I don't watch it myself, but you know, like the hype up, like dude with like yellow hair. That's
Yeah,
basically what
Goku.
I. That's basically what I. How to say felt when you were on break. You know, you're pretty much unstoppable when it comes to the Western breaks, and even Korean breaks couldn't show as much game sense and game knowledge. Did you feel like you were how to say a major part of the team back then? Could the team deal how to say do the same thing without you?
Probably not. Honestly, I think I was a big part of like in terms of just like in the team chemistry and just in terms of just knowing how to play goats. I think that was a big part of it in Boston,
Mm.
especially. I do like think fusions like carried us through like stage 1 and 2 in terms of comms, because back then teams weren't as like good playing goats. So like everyone was trying to learn while fusions was like way ahead in time in
Mm.
terms of just like knowing how to play goats. Um, so he just knew how to like call just like pushes and stuff, and a lot of people weren't used to that, because in goats you required like a lot of like aggro comms, just being proactive, doing stuff first.
Mm.
But around like stage 3, the meta was like still goats, but it was getting a little more complicated. It wasn't as simple as just, oh, let's push them, right?
Mm.
It had to do like a lot with like Zarya bubbles, doing pokes, like keeping like armor pack up in your Rhine, um, just being there's a lot more like slow play in stage 3 that I don't think Fusions was like accustomed to. So
Mm.
I knew how to like calm that, how to calm like play slow, call like these micro small little plays in
Mm.
between like neutrals.
Mm. So if we go, how to say not dial back, but go back to when you started. Your roots, now I only know what's on Wikipedia, but you started with WIP.
Hmm.
How how did you sort of say get into that team? What was the initial reason, or what was the thing you saw value in order to compete or start
Um,
competing?
Man, WIP was like so long ago. Like I bounced a lot, like bounced between like a bunch of tier 2 teams back then. Um, I think what made me stay like with WIP is like I was really good friends with like a lot of them, mostly Jacob, who coaches another team now. I forget what team he coaches now, but I was really good friends with him, and I got to play with him a lot, like throughout my career in the early stages of Overwatch.
Mm.
And I mean, WP was like a good experience, but I do regret like staying with the team, like one team, basically with Jacob, because I don't think I could grow as a player. And eventually, I branched out, joined Legion.
Mm.
But overall, it was a good experience, and yeah.
Did you? Was it more like a click moment for you when you branched out, or was it more like stuff isn't working anymore, so to say?
I think stuff wasn't working, just per se, because I was young and I didn't really know, like, wanted to meet new people and stuff. You wanted to like stick with your friends on teams, but I think meeting new people, especially like when I joined Legion, like such a great experience. Just like meeting Corey. I knew Corey before, like in the team. In between like WIP and Legion, I joined a team called It was basically a bunch of ex-EG players. I forget what the team name was, but it was a bunch of ex-EG players like Goliath, Corey, Decop, Elk, and I was playing with that team for a while. In between when Contenders was announced, so basically we're just playing with that and playing little small tournaments until Contenders was announced, and then we all like branched out into like tryouts, Contenders, and then I got into Legion.
Yeah, with those like, or back in the day, with more tournaments and stuff, it was a bit more. How to say, you could make more noise, right, as a player. Is that correct or?
Yeah, I think so. The talent back then wasn't that like insane. People were still developing, and I think I was ahead of the curve for the most part. But I think when I couldn't get into the S1 OWL, I was like, I was like still going to school. I finished high school. I started taking like a semester in college, and in college I was just like, man, this is boring. It's like this is not what I want to do. And I asked my parents like, yo, just give me 1 year to try to get into like pro Overwatch, and eventually I did. Got into Legion.
Is it Overwatch the game or the competition that you love?
I think the competition, like Overwatch, is also like a very interesting game because it's like really unique in its like genre. No one's really had like an FPS like MOBA hybrid. And I was always interested in like just pure aiming. That was awesome, but also like ability based like games, just being smart about abilities, cooldowns.
Do you feel like with the new Contenders format, you sort of go back to how it was back in the day with tournaments and stuff? You can make more noise for yourself as a player, because right now it's kind of dry, or it used to be dry in Contenders when you're getting into Overwatch League, especially with Korean players to compete with. Did you feel like it was sort of a scary moment before Gladiators, or did you feel like it was under control, like you'll get your time?
I think I would get my time because I think certain teams and contenders, especially like NA teams for OWL, wanted NA players, and obviously like getting into LS too. There's a bunch of Korean competition, and it was a little scary, but I did well in Boston tryouts, and I actually didn't get too many tryouts. I think Valiant wanted me in S2. I think really like far in the beginning, but they ended up getting someone else. But I think I only had like Boston as like a real tryout.
And how was it moving into the Boston team house? Was it a new experience for you?
I mean, I was already used to like living in a team house with Legion. Boston had like a team house and apartments for the players. So like the team house was kind of like the office where like the staff lived, but players had apartments that we had to like Uber to the team house every day.
Did you feel like it was pretty much always the same type of atmosphere, or when it might be how to say I don't know how to describe it, but when you started role swapping a lot, I don't think it was the players who wanted to role swap, but putting you on tank, for example, away from DPS or whatever, all those like support moves. Was it confusing for you as a player to have the right role, so to say, within the team, or was it communicated from the coaches, so to say? Was it were you prepared, so to say?
So Boston was pretty complicated in terms of like our roster. We were trying to like band-aid things in goats because our goats wasn't like top tier. We had like some bright spots here and there, but like it wasn't consistent enough to be like a top team for goats.
Hmm.
Yeah, we had some weak spots. We wanted to like try different spots, like on me, because like I could flex to Zarya, but I only got to play one match on her, and I like didn't practice her that much. And we just like ended up like thinking like, oh, like I think might as well have like me on Brig at this point, because it's like really late into like the Overwatch season, so might as well just put me on Brig for the rest of the season. Then stage 4, we wanted to try me D.Va, for reasons I'm not gonna like
No need
super
to
go
go
into. Yeah, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but yeah. Also,
Okay.
it's complicated.
How did you deal with that fact? Like going on D.Va, for example, because I'm pretty sure signing as a DPS player to then play Brig, to then play tank, it must be a lot of switches, so to say. How do you adapt as a player?
It definitely was frustrating at first, because like I was like, okay, I'm willing to play like D.Va for like maybe a match or two, see how it goes, and then eventually I was like, yeah, this isn't fun. Like it's not for me. Like it doesn't matter how well I do, because if we're still losing, then it's like not worth it. I might as well like be practicing DPS. And the coaches were like, no, I think this is like a final decision. We can't really put you back on DPS. And I was like, okay, I'll just play D.Va then.
Hmm.
So
No,
I just
yeah.
sucked it up and then just kept playing D.Va. And I mean, I still practiced her, right? I still wanted to win. I just didn't like play her as much, because I knew, stage 4 is probably gonna be a bombshell. So I might as well just start like practicing DPS instead of D.Va.
Hmm.
But I still really wanted to win in matches.
Hmm.
So I like didn't like. I actually felt improvement in my D.Va like throughout the matches in stage 4.
Hmm. No,
Like,
yeah. Another player that had the same type of moment was Seagull, if you remember in season 1.
Mhm.
He it was pretty complicated back then as well, and like he landed on D.Va as well, and D.Va duty, dude, no one likes that.
Yeah.
Maybe like some crazy people out there who also happen to like a reset duty, but yeah, those are unique cases.
Definitely like
Yeah.
sorry, definitely in stage 4, it was like originally I had a good hog, so they're like, oh,
Mhm.
it's Orisa hog meta, right? But like the meta started shifting towards like the Rush Reaper May with D.Va Orisa,
Mhm.
and then I was pretty much just stuck on D.Va
Mm.
for that whole stage.
And then, well, you didn't really play much. Well, you didn't play Sigma for Boston or anything, but did it feel like hopes were coming up with the Sigma patch, or how did it go?
At that point, it was like I wasn't gonna play D.Va anymore, because after that stage, the season was over, and
Mm.
Sigma meta was for basically the next season.
Mm.
It was never the plan to like keep me on off tank. I was just kind of substituting for the remainder of the season,
Mhm.
just like a little band-aid for the players to be happy, basically.
Mm. Did it feel like it worked for you personally? I mean,
I'm sorry, for what?
did it feel like the, how to say, make players happy thing worked for you personally?
It made players happy that I was on D.Va, but
Oh yeah.
it still wasn't like, like what's the word I'm looking for?
Engaging maybe, or interactive.
No, like just wow, I'm forgetting the word. It's like a simple word.
No worries.
Valuable. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
as valuable as like having like me on DPS and then having like another D.Va player.
Mm.
But for certain reasons, we had to keep me on D.Va.
Yeah. And now getting signed into Houston, what mentality switch? I assume like you had a mentality switch, like a fresh start. No, I'm DPS now. What are you going to show up as on stage? Like when you enter the stage, are you gonna read it like some Blasé aura? Like I'm gonna be the sick DPS. Like I'm gonna pop off, or is it gonna be like I'm gonna be the solid player? Or yeah, do you have any sort of tone you want to set?
I want to set, a tune that, I am a DPS player and I think I can compete with like the top DPS. Just play my hardest.
Hmm. What's the thing that drives that that want, so to say, to be that sick DPS?
Because it's cause, like in Owl season 2, I didn't get a chance really to like show off. Like I had like little flashes of like brilliance, but like I was consistently like on Brig or tank, so I couldn't really show off that much. But I think this season it's like I'm never gonna be like not DPS sort of. So I think this season's gonna be really good for all us and me.
Do you feel like there's any difficulties coming up with the traveling and stuff, like hindering you from developing as a player, traveling or events, is that getting sick or whatever?
Not that I'm aware of, but I like from my standpoint, I'm probably not gonna like feel it until I'm actually like on the plane and like get off the plane and I'm like, oh, wow, I feel like crap, So probably there might be like problems arising, with the travel, but I think I can get used to it.
Are you the type of player who powers through it, or would you rather get fully, how to say, rested?
I probably do want to be rested, and I don't play well when I'm like incredibly tired. Definitely try to adapt to the new situations that I'm going to be put in.
Do you feel like there's any how to say tics and attitude coming into you now with the team? Do you feel like you integrated in the culture, or do you have any? Are you still getting accustomed to the culture in Houston?
I'm not in Texas yet, so I've never actually been to Texas, so I don't know really like a lot about Texan culture. But I think in terms of like team synergy and just like knowing my teammates, I think I've gone pretty well at that. I really like my teammates right now, and it's been like really fun to scrim with them.
And it's been you've known all of them since ranked, right?
Yeah, I've known all of them. Like I've had like at least some contact with them. I've talked to them before, so it's not like incredibly alienating.
And now with the Harsh as the coach from Vancouver, do you feel like it's gonna be how to say a unique experience because he was with a full Korean team, or do you feel like it's pretty much like a Western team? How do you view the? Well, you don't want to let out too many trade secrets or anything. Like I don't want that, but do you feel like it's gonna be coached in a Korean style or Western style, or how do you feel so far? Like personally,
definitely, I'd say Western because the Korean players actually want us to like talk in just proper English, not like somewhat of broken English for them to like understand easier. They want to learn English. So I definitely say Western.
And do you have any how to say teammate that you rely on, so to say, not rely on, but I mean get inspired by or have like extra good connection with that you maybe I don't know do drills with or whatever that helps you prepare for? Well, in Boston it would be for matches, but now in Houston would it be someone else?
Like a teammate I'd like
warm up with,
or something?
warm up etc. Talk
probably
strats.
Ruckus. Yeah, probably Ruckus, I'd say. Me and him are pretty good friends right now.
Did you feel like there was any other player throughout your like career that helped you like step up as a person almost?
Step up as a person throughout my career. Probably Corey, I think. Corey really inspired me to like, because I never like played with the player that also really wanted to like hard grind, really wanted to win, really had a good drive. So playing with him and being friends with him obviously really helped me.
Sort of like the you wanna how to say get a like-minded people around you.
Yeah, people are always on the same page.
What was the most happiest moment in your career so far?
Happiest moment in my career. Probably whenever I got a win in Boston. Like in the beginning stages of Boston, it was pretty decent. So I think winning back then was nice. Also getting the pop off on Doom against Paris, I think that was also a good moment for me.
Did it feel any good? Obviously it felt good when you showed it on stage and stuff. But how was it first time when you stepped on stage? Did you have like stage fright or anything?
I definitely was a little nervous at first. Like in stage 1 and 2, I was being a little scared sometimes, but eventually, like I think it comes with any like new like rookie or new player. It just once you play on stage, you'll get used to it eventually. Like it gets once you step up again, it's like, oh, I'm here. You drain out like all the fans and stuff, and you just focus on the game with your teammates.
And now, one last question: how do you plan on doing the same thing, but with, for example, the Blasé brand live when you, well, not live, but in person when you're traveling as much, well, more? Because I assume Houston is going to be doing a lot of events or trying to connect with the large fan base that they have. Do you have any how to say plans yourself, or do you feel like it's going to be a new experience, or you're really accustomed to it, or yeah?
Being in LS too, like having like 1 year of OWL experience really does help because fan interactions and stuff is like something you need to get used to when you first join the league. And definitely, I think going into S3, it's going to be a lot easier for me to like just get used to like interacting with fans, meeting new people, just talking to people in general.
Yeah. All right. So let's plug your social media and stuff. Where do you stream? Where do you have a lot of links?
My Twitter, Blasé OW, at Blasé OW. My Twitch, just Blasé, BLASE, for the link. Yeah, I think that's it.
I hope you I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for joining.
I enjoyed. Thank you for having me.